sixth generation to be back here on the farm. Original Brian Egan came out in 1876 and pioneered the land here. So it's got a lot of emotional attachment to the land. You know, we've always been quite business minded, and you know, there's always tough times, and we always plan ahead, and you know, you get through them. We've got over 170 years of rainfall records there. There's been 10-year periods of dry spells, and you know, this is just one of them. We're working through it. Currently run about 20,000 acres. We have a 30% enterprise split, namely irrigated cotton over the summer, dryland winter crops, wheat canola, chickpeas, and then the beef cattle breeding herd. So that gives us a good split on income stream, and spreads the risk over the farm. In any one year, you usually get 2 out of the 3. This year, we're probably only getting 1 out of the 3. We've had a good cotton crop, but now the cattle and the winter cropping probably won't make a return this year. This year we planted about 1,000 hectares of wheat, also on dry, and we had 40 mil on the 1st of July, and that got it up out of the ground, and I don't think that will grow into anything now. The season's just got too late and too little rain. The cattle operation, over the last few years, few good seasons, we've been able to build up our herd to make use of the feed, and now that it's drying off, last year we had one of the driest winters we've had, and that's continued on into this year. So now we're starting to heavily destock. We were up to 420 head of breeders, Hereford Angus cattle. Now we'll bring that back down to 140, 100 head. We've still retained a fair few of our weaners. They're down on the river country, and they're not doing too bad. They're getting fed out some lupins and mollifoss, as well as doing a fair bit of scrub cutting down trees to give them the roughage to get them to have a field. But they're still doing all right. They're growing out. They're not putting on fat, but they're growing. The cows and the calves are what are really struggling this year. We've retained all our cottonseed this year to feed out to the cows. So we're putting out about 20 tonne a week, and it's full time. I've got 2 full-time employees on, and they're just going around the clock, scrub cutting, feeding out cottonseed, putting out mollifoss, checking the water, and just keeping them going. We'll probably only do that for another 2 weeks, and yeah, we're just starting a destocking program now, looking to offload a fair few. Our cotton program going forward, we had 500 hectares of cotton in last year. That'll be brought back down to 100 hectares this year, purely because the water availability in our licence in the Burrendong Dam. We've got a bit of carryover from last year, but yeah, water's our biggest limiting factor. If there's no water, we don't grow anything. We just reduce production right down. The kangaroos are just, they've taken over the property. I've never seen the numbers like it. We drove out across 200 hectare wheat crop, and there could have easily been 500 or 1,000 roos on there. You could go out and shoot a couple of hundred a night, and it just wouldn't put a dent in them, really. We've tried doing a roo drive, literally just driving the farm with motorbikes and cars and utes and everything, and literally mustering them off the farm, but they're back the next night. Yeah, so family's great. It's just opened up my world. Like, I just want to spend all my time just with my wife and my daughter. Any waking moment, just want to get back to the house and go and be with them. Love going out on farm drives. As a bit sad as it is to drive around and see the country in such dry shape, it still lightens up my day to be able to drive around with Elle and Annabelle and just see what's going on the farm. Like, we've still had progress, we're still doing stuff. We're got fencing projects on the way to keep the roos out, exclusion fencing. One thing I have enjoyed about all of this is problem solving. You know, we've never been really set up for heavily feeding out stock or you know, combating dry time. So it's always looking at the problem solving ability of, okay, how do we do this? How do we go about it? What are the options to us? And trying to just work through all of those scenarios and come out with what is hopefully the best solution at the end of the day. Born and bred into it, and so it's always been there since day dot. Dad tells the story of I think I was 8 years old at a swimming carnival, and we're both standing there. Yeah, I go, you know what? I think I've got my life pretty well sorted. I think I'll finish school, go jackarooing for a bit, and come back and kick you out. And he just had a smile from ear to ear because, yeah, he knew that the love of farming would be there, and I wanted to come back, and it's always been a part of it. You've got to surround yourself with love. So love yourself, love your family, and love what you do. You know, if you love your job, you never work a day in your life, and that's what I'm doing out here. Love working on the farm. There's always good times and bad, but you know, throughout it all, you still thrive on it. You still love it.